Hello everybody and welcome to Ellison Legals in case you missed it. So this month we're going to be going over August posts, last month's post, which was all on succession. But as usual, just quickly go through a couple of webcast disclosures. So quickly, Ellison Legal has limited liability under a scheme approved by the Professional Standards legislation, and this webcast is intended to provide you with general information only. It is not intended to give you legal advice, and it shouldn't be taken as legal advice. So please, if there are any queries that you do have, please see your legal practitioner to get legal advice on whatever query it is that you do have, so that the information given to you can be tailored to your specific situation. Okay, so last month's posts for August was all on succession, and we had 4 different posts. So the first post we spoke about succession types. So we've got different types of successions, different types of roles for succession. So probably the best way I can put it is different hats that you're wearing. So this is for your role as an individual, for you yourself. This could be for your role as a shareholder, your role as a director of a company, your role as a member of a trust, as a member of a fund, or even your role as a trustee of a trust. So having in place a will, a power of attorney, and an enduring guardianship. There we go, with the tongue twists again, as always. It is so important to have these documents. And in the post, I did use the word underestimated. Those documents are very, very much underestimated. And I often have clients say to me, do I really need those? Do you recommend I should have those? And whilst I always try to, I don't like to force my opinion onto other people. It is, in my opinion, that those documents should be there. But again, freedom of choice, and it's up to you whether that's what you want to have in place. But having those documents in place really saves a lot of time and heartache, really, later on when those documents aren't in place. And a lot of the times I find people are wanting to get those documents done because they've seen someone else go through such a traumatic time because something's happened, and whatever happened to the person they're thinking of didn't have those documents in place. So they see what can go wrong. Okay, so those are the different succession types as an individual, shareholder, director, trust member, fund member, trustee. There could be others, but they're the ones I'm kind of picking on. The second post we looked at as an individual. So we consider pretty much for all these roles the will, power of attorney, and an enduring guardianship. So do you have these documents in place? So you need to consider first, during your lifetime, what happens if you are incapacitated? Who is going to manage your financial affairs? Who's going to manage your legal affairs? Is there someone that you can trust to do this for you? So that goes to your power of attorney document. Excuse me, with your health and lifestyle. If you are incapacitated, you are not of sound mind, you need someone to make decisions for you in terms of your health and lifestyle, your care. This goes to your enduring guardianship. Who would you want to be your guardian? In the event of death, what happens to your assets? So your assets comprise your estate. What happens to all that? You might have, I don't know, money in bank, shares, property. You might have heirlooms. You might have certain things that you want to go specific ways. You might want to have them go into a trust. You don't want them to go wholly to someone. You want it to be managed under a trust. You might want certain investments to happen. I don't know what everyone is thinking. Everyone has different opinions and different ways of how they want to share what they once owned with their loved ones. And that's okay, that's fine. But unless you say what you want to happen, the law's going to basically come in and say that instead. So take your opportunity and say it. Put it in a will. So that's as an individual. Our third post was on company. So there's different roles you could have here with a company. You could be the director of a company. You could be a shareholder of a company. So what happens there in the event of death or incapacity? Well, in the event of death, as a shareholder, your shares will form part of your estate. As a director, depending on what the company constitution says, more than likely a new director will be appointed. But what if you are incapacitated? So not in the event of death, but you're incapacitated. You are no longer of sound mind to make decisions, and you're the director. Have you noted down anywhere who you want to step into your place to make those decisions? Can you say who you want to step into your place and make those decisions? So you need to look over your company constitution. Does it say you can even appoint someone? As a shareholder with a company, is there just a constitution, or is there a constitution and a shareholders agreement? You need to find that out as well. What does the shareholders agreement say, if there is one? So if you are incapacitated, can you and have you appointed someone to make decisions on your behalf as shareholder? So there's all these different things to consider. It's not just the individual capacity, which was the second post, but there's also in relation to a company, director and shareholder. So it's really important if you own a business, or if you have shares in a business, and I'm not talking about listed companies. I'm talking about private corporations, unlisted. It's really important that you have your business succession planning in place. The last type of role I looked at was for trusts and funds. So you could either be maybe, say, a fund member, or you could be the beneficiary of a trust. Flip it on the other side of the coin, you could be the trustee of that trust. Again, different roles. Now, the difference with this post, which was the last post for August, to the others, is that for the beneficiaries and fund members, whatever is held in the fund or in trust for you is held by someone else, the trustee. It's not held by you, and when it's not held by you, it is not owned by you. That means it does not fall into your estate. It does not. If something happens to you and in the event of your death, it does not form part of your estate. So if you have a will, you say, yep, I have a will, I'm covered. Are you covered for what's in the trust? What does the trust deed say? And there are so many different types of trusts. You might be able to say, yes, this is what I want to happen. It might be what we call a discretionary trust, and you've got no say as to what happens. So you need to have a look at your trust deed. So that's in your capacity of a beneficiary or a fund member. You need to look at those documents and see what can you say in your will, and is there anything that you can say in a guardianship and power of attorney or not, or more the power of attorney than a guardianship. Trustee, if you are the trustee of these funds or trusts, what are the trustee's powers of that trust? If you as trustee are incapacitated, do you have the power in your power of attorney document to appoint someone? Probably not, but maybe look at the trust deed. But what happens in the event of your death? Again, you need to look at the trust deed. So when you are going through your succession planning and your estate planning, you need to consider what are all the different hats that you wear. What happens in the event of your death, or what happens in the event of incapacity. And in the event of incapacity is both health and lifestyle and legal and financial. So the health and lifestyle is going to be more of you as an individual for the enduring guardianship, but the power of attorney over your legals and financials is for you as an individual, as well as your role as director, as shareholder, as fund member, trustee, all these different roles. So please, when you are considering the question, should I do these documents, consider what different hats you wear. Consider what impacts this might have on people in your life, and it's not just loved ones. It's your work network. How does this impact your business relationships and things like that? So it is, in my opinion, they all are very important documents. So my answer to the question to should I have these documents done, my answer is yes. Again, freedom of choice, you choose. But those are my points to you. You take what you will out of that. And that was August posts, so on succession. So I will see you back here next month for this month's posts, which is September's posts, and I will talk to you then. Bye.